Up? Welcome to the first episode of God, I spend too much money on cardboard, but I won't buy a tripod. Today I'm gonna just kind of go through one of my new favorite lists to play. Been really enjoying mono white lately. I've been on a little spree of building mono color decks. I feel like I played 3 color decks for the last 5 years, and it's been really refreshing to explore what kind of cards and strategies you can explore while just playing monocolor. So yeah, I built Red Ragavan, and it's just not that interesting, so I haven't played that as much. Been wanting to build a mono blue Leonardo da Vinci, but it's just another artifact deck, and I feel like they're all the same. Yep, that was supposed to be at the bottom. There's a Windbreast Heights. Big fan of Sierra. Nuka-Cola's biggest fan. She can put a lot of work in a token deck. Plus, just having incidental life gain along the way can be a huge value. I passed a wind crystal a little bit ago, and just giving a bunch of 1/1s flying and lifelink, it doesn't always end the game that turn, but it does like fog the next round of combats for you and can really help you grind out those late game decks, unless it's Pants Lava or some big dinosaurs. I actually have the foil version of this coming in the mail over the next few days. Really looking forward to it. It'll be one of the first rooms that I have the full art foil of, and I've seen them at my LGS, and I think they're really pretty. I am a huge fan of the map promos from Ixalan and these flip lands. They make for some really great ramp in conjunction with ketchup ramp. Especially the Dowsing Dagger. Once you flip that, if you manage to get a Vesuva or a Thespian stage later, it can really do some ramping. Especially with my pet card of the deck, since it is a Fallout commander with a Fallout sub-theme. As you can tell, I tried to include a bunch of reasonable Fallout cards into the list. I just am a big fan of the 3 mana lands, even if that one doesn't have a hexproof and can get blown up. If you manage to get a Pip-Boy, you can even tutor it up with your Urza Saga in games that you start with that early. You can turn it into a mini sort of Feast and Famine, untapping 2 different lands that tap for 3 mana, or just a bounce land, like a Guildless Commons that taps for 2, with a Lotus Field or the Flip Dowsing Dagger. That can untap 5 to 6 mana. It really puts you ahead in games that you're doing that. I've had more mana available per turn than like ramp decks in a few games. Love this Trouble in Pairs. So glad we got a non-stolen art. And I know the Universe Beyond is controversial, but I have 2 kids, so it's been a great way to share my interest in Magic the Gathering with them. Novice Inspector. Love how good this and Thraben Inspector are in Lucy. Fine to play them on turn 1. Happy to play them late game and draw 2 cards. Maybe give your opponent that you'd like to make an ally a clue along the way. I really do think the gift, the golden rule, Lucy's mechanic is quite fun in Commander. I think you can get a lot of value from it, and it's just a fun political element without being just group hug, we're scared, kill them first. Love these special guest cards from Edge of Eternities. They look a lot like the magazines you could find in the Fallout games, and I'm glad that there was one that I could include. Summon Yinjimbo is just probably my favorite summon, and I love Final Fantasy X. Was so happy to pick up that foil. Really want to get a foil of Champions from Beyond. Just hasn't had the opportunity, and I'd love it if we could get an alt art for Heraldic Banner. I could get a original printing foil, but it's the same art. It didn't seem worth the extra couple bucks. Mentioned this card earlier, the Pip-Boy 3000, all-star card of the deck. No card I'd rather see in my opening hand. I do really appreciate playing a turn 1 spell in Lucy, because I run all the legal bounce lands, the colorless, and then the old one from Visions, the bad one. And if you bounce your own land on turn 2 in Commander, you do have to discard. So getting just a spell down on turn 1, especially one as powerful as the Pip-Boy, feels really good. Because then once you play your turn 2 bounce land, if that is in your opening, you do not have to discard, and maybe you can set up some catch-up ramp like Knight of the White Orchid. Skull Clamp must include in token decks, plus it's a great Urza Saga target. Whenever I run Urza Saga in a deck, I try to make sure I have at least 3 targets. Almost like you want to have a basic land, at least a couple in your 5-color deck, just in case you get Path exiled. You always want to just have something to search for, so... And I know you can get Soul Ring, but I do try to develop my mana in other ways, so it's more valuable to try and include other utility pieces. If you happen to have a bounce land or one of the 3-mana lands, the Lotus lands, then you just can generate so much more mana with the Pip-Boy. Buried Ruins, Talon Gates, the Arid Archway, Mutavault, Vesuva. Love this art. Feels very Fallout. The second bounce land. I love this Thespian stage. The other art felt a little more Fallout, almost, from the Stellar Sights bonus sheet. But it was like $30 more expensive for the Galaxy foil, and I felt like it was kind of Star Wars. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's got like a war room kind of aesthetic. It looks like where the Senate met in the original Clone Wars saga. Here's the bad bounce land. I'm looking to get every card in this deck foil. I intentionally didn't include any cards that were only printed in Commander decks without foils, just because I could never upgrade them. Karoo, however, doesn't have a foil, and I don't think they'll ever print a foil printing of the bad bounce lands. For anyone who doesn't know, the reason those are bad is you have to return an untapped plains. So it's almost like paying a mana to play this thing. Much worse. But gotta have as many bounce lands as possible to activate catch-up ramp and have consistency. If they do ever print monocolor bounce lands again, like better ones, I'll definitely switch that one out. And the rest of the cards are just these planes. I have 25 basic planes in here, all the KEXP lands. Tiny Desk Concert is one of my favorite things to listen to musically. I love all the live rap. I think it's so cool, some of their performances. And just so many of the bands that go on there do awesome stuff. And if you didn't know, KEXP is a part of the NPR network. And I just thought that that was so random and cool. Plus, they kind of look like Fallout shelter homes. Like if you were to build a base, you could decorate it like this. And I thought it fit her vibe. Anyways, that is all my cards in Lucy. I have a few foil tokens. Still working on getting more foil ones. These are cards I cut. Just didn't think that I needed more card draw, and then I never made enough of these tokens to want to go along with the Nuka-Cola Academy plan, so I just figured cut it all. Gotta love the SpongeBob food. But yeah, there is my Lucy deck. Thank you guys for stopping in to my corner of YouTube, and hope to see you next time on the next episode of I Spend Too Much Money on Cardboard, but Don't Have a Tripod.